Welcome to the next episode of The Next Big Thing. My name is Ethan Lee Chalk, and today I'm here with Matt Jefferson. How are we today, Matt?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Are the nerves starting to kick in now, 2 days away from the draft?
Yeah, I guess in the kind of the last week, it's become more of a realization. A bit of nerves, but a bit of more of excitement, I'd say. So yeah.
I know there's a lot of like phantom drafts and especially articles about yourself and different prospects. Have you tried to like stay away from those articles at all?
Probably tried to stay away from them during the season when you're playing. Just focusing on playing your best footy. But I guess now that the season's over, you do get your mates sending you stuff and tagging you and stuff like that. So it's hard to ignore, but you take it with a grain of salt. You don't give it too much attention. So, yeah.
Have they messaged you and be like, "Oh yeah, you're like the number 20 prospect or number 25 prospect," stuff like that?
Yeah, no, you get tagged and stuff, people send you stuff. But, yeah, it's pretty cool though.
And obviously, a lot of different teams have picks in the draft. Being from Victoria, is there a specific team that you kind of want to go to, or you're happy wherever you land?
I'm definitely happy wherever I land. It's a national draft. If someone picks you, you're not going to say no, are you? So I'm happy
That's
wherever I
true.
go.
And if you were picked by a team outside of Victoria, have you kind of come to that realization that you could be living out of state next year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're nominated for the draft, always know that it's potential to be going into state. So I've definitely got my head around that. And yeah, if I was to be drafted in state, it'd be pretty exciting. But there'll also be challenges. But I think the club would put support around you. So yeah, it'd definitely be pretty exciting.
Have you yourself lived out of home, or you're still at home at the moment?
Still at home at the moment. So yeah.
You kind of get that free space if you do move like outside of Victoria to one of the other teams in different states.
Yeah, I guess if you move interstate, it's also a good thing. Getting to move out of home and I guess learning on the go. Whereas if you're at home, you still got your parents around you and all that. And if you go into state, you can become more independent and learn a lot more. So yeah.
I was just wondering if you could speak a bit about your early life playing AFL. When did you kind of come to the realization, I guess, knowing that you'd be playing AFL professionally one day?
Yeah, played all my junior footy down at the Ashley Redbacks. Played about 130 games down there. Yeah, I pretty much just played footy for fun up until probably last year when I started, to be involved in the Oakley programs in Vic Metro. That's probably when I started to, realise that, if I pursued it and I worked hard, I could probably make something out of this. Definitely last year when I made the AFL Academy, that was probably the moment I realised, I can do this and I can make a career out of this.
Did you always dream about playing professionally? Like even when you're younger, like growing up watching
Yeah,
the footy with family and mates?
yeah, definitely, 100%. I reckon that's every every kid who plays Aussie kick, who plays junior footy, wants to be an AFL footballer. So yeah, it's always been a dream.
And speaking about growing up, what team did you, or what team do you still kind of barrack for growing up and still now as well?
Yeah, I was a big Carlton supporter growing up. So yeah, my dad goes to Carlton. So yeah, got that off him.
And players, is there any players that you looked up to growing up?
Definitely Charlie Kerner. He's one that I love watching play. Just his attack on the footy and he kicks goals, but he does a lot more than that. So yeah, he's one I love watching play.
When you first, obviously playing footy growing up, were you always that kind of like sporty person? Like, did you play other sports to go alongside AFL?
Yeah, definitely. When I was younger, footy in the winter and then cricket in the summer, pretty much, as well as played a lot of basketball as a junior. I gave up cricket in about under 12s, and it was pretty much footy and basketball up until about last year. But always knew that footy was my favourite sport, and I was definitely better at footy. So I always knew that footy. If I was going to pursue one of them, it'd be footy.
I know AFL and basketball go hand to hand. Josh Giddey obviously played AFL. Scott Pendlebury played basketball as well growing up. Did you ever want to kind of go into basketball at any points, kind of go down that track professionally instead of AFL? Did you ever have that thought?
Um, Not really. I'd just say up until about last year, I was just playing both of them because I was playing with my mates. I was having fun. I guess it was probably last year. with school and everything that you have to become more of, you have to choose one. I mean, it was always going to be footy for me, I reckon. Basketball was just, more about playing with mates and having fun. So, yeah.
Can you dunk or not quite there yet?
Yeah, I can dunk. I've been able to dunk for a few years now. So,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Pull out some of the special dunks here and there.
Nah, I stay away from that kind of stuff. Don't want to get injured.
Yeah. AFL draft combine, how was that experience? It must have been daunting with all like, coaches, scouts, other draft prospects watching you do all these skills. How was that experience as a whole?
Yeah, obviously going into it, it's pretty nerve wracking. It was kind of the last, event that you could, kind of show what you can do. So yeah, it was a bit nervous, but when you get in there, it becomes pretty easy. You get to know people, and first couple of days, helped settle down. We were just doing interviews and media and all that, and then obviously testing on the last day. So yeah, it was. I mean, it's pretty cool getting in there and getting to meet, some of the coaches, recruiters, and then some of the other boys who are going to go top 10 and be good players in the AFL for the next 10 years.
You just spoke about then doing interviews with some of the coaches. Was it kind of like the same questions throughout, like from
Yeah.
all the different clubs? Was that kind of like annoying answering the same question each single time?
Yeah, you do get similar questions each time, but it's not annoying. I don't think. I think it's just part of the process. It's something
Yeah.
that you got to do. So yeah, but clubs do change it up a bit. No interviews the same. So yeah,
Will you be attending the draft or with family, or would you be watching at home with some mates and family?
yeah, I'll just be at home with some mates and my family.
Any celebrations if you do get picked up?
Um, don't know yet. Maybe, probably not actually. Might be in the club the next day, so keep it pretty quiet.
And you spoke earlier about junior footy, Oakley Chargers. What was kind of the process involved in playing for the Oakley Chargers?
Yeah, so they got like development squads in like under 15s, under 14s. You kind of do like camps out there, day camps and then whatnot. But then under 16s is probably when it becomes a bit more serious. They kind of cut the squad down. You get, the best players, start, coming to the top and all that. But obviously with COVID, we didn't get an under 16s year. So they moved us to under 17s. So I played 17s and then moved on to 18s this year.
I guess playing from such a young age, like you were saying, you kind of get to have like the same kind of players in the team. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Does that make it easier having like that team chemistry and getting along with everyone and knowing them for an extended period of time?
Yeah, that definitely helps. Most of the boys who played 18s this year probably would have been there since under 15s and in those squads and whatnot. And I reckon I would have played against majority of people in the Chargers team from under 10s and whatever. So yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely do get to meet people and forge pretty good relationships.
And Vic Metro as well. How did you kind of find out the news that you made the squad?
Uh, I don't actually remember. I think there was a trial game, and then after that, they kind of released the squad. So yeah, it was pretty exciting. Obviously, getting to represent Victoria. So yeah,
Were you confident that you made the team? Or
yeah,
was
I
it
was
kind
pretty
of like a
confident.
surprise?
I was pretty confident beforehand. I felt like I had a pretty good start to the year for the Chargers, and then the trial game, I thought I played all right. So yeah, I was pretty confident I'd make the squad.
And you kind of continued that form in the national championship as well. 7 goals against Western Australia, probably the highlight game for you, and also an All Australian selection. Did that give you kind of extra confidence going into kind of like the future of your AFL career?
Yeah, I reckon that game definitely gave me a lot of confidence at the back end of the year. I feel like before that, I'd been working really hard on the ground and I'd been doing like all the right things in terms of, putting pressure on being competitive, just making sure I'm doing all the right things. And then obviously that game, cashed in and got some rewards. So I feel like after that, it definitely gave me a lot of confidence, keep going for my marks and, have confidence in my goal kicking. So yeah, it definitely helped.
Is there anything kind of different during the like the preparation or the setup to the game that you kind of like did differently, or was it just like when you got out there on the field against WA, you like it's my day, today's my day. Like obviously get 3 4 goals, today's my day. I'm going to kick like quite a few.
Yeah, I reckon it was just once I got out there, I feel like first quarter, I got my hands on the footy a fair bit and I kicked two in the first. So yeah, I felt like, this could be my day. And then obviously third quarter, I started getting a hold of them, and the ball was just coming in really fast. It's really to my advantage, and I just had to finish off the work.
Do you have any superstitions or pre-match preparations that you have to do like before every game?
No, not really. I just like to say, nice and relaxed. Don't get too, worked up or anything. I just, like to say calm and yeah, no real superstitions or anything.
Just kind of put the headphones on, listen to the music, kind of like that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not too fussed. Whatever anyone's doing, I'll handball with people, kick with people, and I'll just go with the flow.
And I just mentioned the All Australian selection as well. What an honour that was to be selected in the All Australian team. Were your family proud, and how proud were you kind of at that moment being selected, chosen as one of like, the best players within the national championship?
Yeah, that was definitely, very proud moment for me. I reckon, as an under 18 footballer, that's probably the biggest honour you can receive. Or as a junior footballer, it's the biggest honour you can receive, getting to selected to an All Australian team. So yeah, it was something I'm really proud of, and family were pretty happy as well. So yeah, it's definitely something that I'll cherish for a long time.
You've done the under 18s All Australian. Can we expect to see you in the All Australian in the future?
Hopefully. I mean, who knows what could happen, but obviously that's a goal. If you want to be a good player, get an All Australian team. That's something everyone wants to do.
And you obviously like I played with a bunch of great draftees and prospects, not only at Metro but also at Oakley. Would it be nice if you were kind of drafted with some of those teammates in an AFL club, ideally?
Yeah, that'd definitely be pretty cool. Having someone there that and that you can bounce off of, and you can talk to about anything, and that they're going through the same thing as you, so you can really relate to each other. But as I said before, if wherever I go, I'll be pretty happy. Whether that's with some WA boys, SA boys, whatever. I'm gonna be happy either way.
Who kind of had the strongest influence, I guess, during your development and your growth, kind of at Oakley? Was there a specific player that kind of took you under their wing, or was there a specific coach that helped you develop and grow your skills?
Definitely a few coaches that have really helped me. Ty Vickery's been down at Oakley for a few years now. He's there every so often. He does a lot of work with the tools and the key forwards and key backs and whatnot. So yeah, he's one that definitely helped my development as a footballer. So yeah.
Have you always played footy up forward, or have you ever decided to like go in the back line, try it out, maybe even midfield?
Yeah, I'd probably say up until this year, I've been 50-50 forward back pretty much. My whole career, I've been probably key position, forward and back. And then this year, obviously, played pretty much predominantly forward, maybe played a quarter of back down at school. But yeah, pretty much forward this year. But apart from that, I've really, probably going into the year, I would have liked to have played a bit more defence, but I just don't think the opportunity ever came.
Yeah. And then heading into the AFL, like AFL Premiership, will you just be happy wherever they put you? Like no
Yeah,
preference at all?
definitely. If the team needs me to play forward, I'll play forward. If they need me to play back, I'll play back. I'm happy to do whatever the team wants me to do.
Are you still kind of training on your own at the moment in the lead up to the draft?
Yeah, definitely doing a lot of running. Got a good group of mates who I've been doing running and kicking the footy with. So yeah, been doing a bit of that.
It's much better than just doing it by yourself, pretty much, isn't it? Because you can't really kick the ball
Yeah,
to yourself or at a wall or anything
100%.
like that.
Yeah, definitely. And having someone there running with you is definitely good as well. When you're by yourself, you tend to get a bit unmotivated, but when you got someone there, you get that added motivation.
Are you normally at the front of the pack, or are your mates kind of like, are you kind of behind them?
Oh, we're pretty similar, like endurance wise. So we kind of stick together and run together. So yeah, we're all pretty similar.
Oh, nice. And outside of AFL, are you studying, are you working, or is it just all focused on just AFL at the moment?
Finished exams about 2 weeks ago, so got all that done out of the way, and yeah, put myself down for uni, but not sure if I'm gonna do it next year. It'd be a pretty big step up, going playing AFL and doing uni. So yeah, maybe defer, but after that, definitely go on to study.
It's kind of even hard to like select which uni you're going to go to because you really don't know where
Yeah,
you're going to end up. You can't really sign up for a Victorian uni if you're going to end up in like Sydney or South Australia, for example.
yeah, it's pretty tough, but the AFL clubs, they got good connections with the unis and whatnot, and if I do go and start, I'll sort it out.
And we've gone through some of your career highlights, the 7 goals against WA, growing up with the Oakley Chargers, and obviously the All Australian selection. Are there any other highlights that you'd like to mention from your career to date?
I'd probably say, well, the biggest achievement playing for Ashley was winning a premiership under 15s. Up until then, I don't think I think I might have played one final before that season. So yeah, I was pretty starved for success there. But that season, everything, kind of fell in line, and we had a really good team and had a really good year and won the premiership. So yeah, that was pretty special.
How was the game? Was it a blowout or was it a tight game, that one?
Oh, it was blowout. We won by about 8 points in the end. So yeah,
Jeez, poor. I feel bad for the other team.
yeah, nah, it was good. We were able to, after half time, we had a pretty big lead, so we were able to, throw the magnets around and enjoy it a bit. So yeah.
Just a couple more questions. How far ahead are you looking into the future, and what is kind of your next goal? Obviously, being selected, but what is your kind of next goal you're hoping to achieve? Whether that be a specific like development goal or a specific skill you're trying to develop.
Yeah, I haven't really given too much thought of that. I guess the last month has just been about all about the draft. But I reckon after I get drafted, probably to get my endurance up and maybe get my 2K down. I'd say that's probably a big goal of mine. Endurance is playing as that centre half forward. You got to be pretty fit. So yeah, getting the 2K down is definitely a big one for me.
And just last question here: what advice would you give to any younger boys hoping to play in the AFL, or any younger girls hoping to play professionally in the AFLW in the near future?
Um, I'd just say make sure you enjoy it. Don't get too worked up and trying to get drafted and all that. If you got to remember that you play footy because you love footy and you want to have fun. And if you're getting too worked up about it and getting too focused on just getting drafted, I feel like probably not playing for the right reason. So just making sure that you enjoy playing footy because that's what everyone wants to do.
100%. Thank you so much for coming on and letting me interview, especially with such closeness to the draft. I wish you all the best with the upcoming draft coming up, and also into the near future. And hopefully, I get to interview and speak to you in the future and see what it holds for you as well.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me on. It's been good.